People, man, we live up in this thing, man. Gonna come to y'all talk about some wholesale real estate stuff, though, man. And I was just thinking this the other day, man. We go live talking about this wholesaling thing, man. Y'all can ask any questions. I know it's a lot of people out there working their 9 to 5, just like I was. That maybe want financial freedom, want time freedom. You don't want to spend more time with your family, all the other good stuff, man. Wholesaling real estate is a great way to make money, where you can work from home, you can kind of be more flexible, do what you need to do and stuff like that. So, if you want to do that, identify with that, make sure you like, subscribe, all the other good stuff, man. When you see our videos, go ahead and tap in like Mr. Ali, man. And man, like the video, subscribe, share the stuff, you know what I'm saying, with other people, so they can see what we got going on, man. But Cordero, man, how you doing today, man?
Man, it's a shout out Ali first of all, but it's a cool day. It's a cool day, man. These leads, folks is answering the phone. Folks is wanting to sell today.
People answering the phone, people ready to sell, man. All you got to do is reach out to them. You got to make that call, though. You know what I'm saying? So, gotta make that call. John Doe back in the building, man. What's going on, man? John Doe back in the building, man. What's going on, my people on IG? What's up? But man, John Doe back in the building. But man, today we're gonna talk about if you want to get started wholesaling, you gotta know this. You know what I'm saying? Well, and it's some stuff that we know that you need to know. And there's some stuff that some of y'all might know that we need to know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's always people who jump on here that put me on. You know what I'm saying? It's like I think Keith hit me up. Like he just jumped on the live and was like, "Hey, you need to jump on launch control." Jump on launch control went stupid. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
want to put you on launch control?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Keith down put us all on launch control. Then
I'm just saying, man, it's everybody learning, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At least I am. I know that I can't speak for everybody, I guess. But yeah, man, but we just want to let you know like some stuff that you kind of need to know, you know what I'm saying, in this wholesale business. You need to know this, you need to know that, when it comes to wholesaling. And it's a couple of things like we do Fundamental Friday, so it's a lot of stuff that we knock out there. But we just want to talk like in general, not deep diving into each one, but like you need to know how to write up contract with the seller and contract with the buyer. We did that on one of the Fundamental Fridays. That's fundamental, but that's stuff like you need to know this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's some stuff that you ran into that you're like, man, I don't know this. Like, how am I going to wholesale if I don't know how to do this? Ask the question. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're doing today. Just talking about some stuff that you need to know. It's like, dang, you probably need to know that. You know what I'm saying? I would say the process, man. It's like you need to know the general, I don't know what you would call it, the general concept of wholesaling. You kind of need to know that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's like you need to know the general concept that, you're not buying the property. You're putting the owner under contract, right? You're putting the property owner under contract. That's what you're doing. And then you are selling your position in that contract, or you're selling that contract to somebody else who will pay more money, right? And you're kind of getting what's in between. That general concept, you kind of need to know. You know what I'm saying? You need to understand that in order to do a deal. What's some other stuff you can think about, Cordero, that it's like you kind of need to know this?
Man, I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth, but still, some of the newer folks probably need to know. You need to know that your data is like, especially when you're prospecting, that's like the blood. That's like your lifeline to your. That's not something nobody told me about in the beginning, but it's like I remember I was talking to these guys. They were just like, "Yeah, we got about we got about 2,000 lead. They pulled a list of like 2,000. I think they pulled a couple lists and it added up to like 2,000 prospects that they needed to either cold call or text or do something with. That was just like, man, we got a lot of people. And I was just like, man, I got about, I don't know, like 50,000 at this point. Byron's got, no, I probably got more than that. But Byron's got over 1 million. It's like, and the more you have, that almost is, that'd be like a direct correlation to like the amount of leads that you can get or the amount of money you can make is the amount of money you've spent on skip tracing leads. A lot of people don't think about that. That's a major key. You got to have leads, and every time you get a deal and you close one, however you, whether it was like marketing or prospecting, get you some more leads, get you some more people to call, skip trace some more people. Shout out to Wolf of Wall Street.
What's
Wolf of
going
Wall
on?
Street must be from Atlanta. Am I right to assume that he's from Atlanta?
Maybe.
He's from the South. I know that much.
Most of it be from the South.
From the South.
I think I got some houses. Yeah, man. So yeah, I think that's big, man. That's one thing I learned. Like when I was getting started, it's like skip tracing probably costs the most, right? It probably that skip tracing is the separator. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It really separates people. The people that skip trace more usually is going further up. You know what I'm saying? They can do more skip tracing. They can do more marketing or prospecting. They're gonna do more deals. So that's why we say that. And then making sure you getting the proper skip tracing, because like I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna go over here and get this cheap skip tracing. I did it. Junk was messed up. I had to go back
better than that
and buy it all over again.
You know better than that, man.
I did know better than that then.
You must know this.
Yeah, you got to know that skip tracing is the most important thing, man. You got to know it, and you can't go cheap on it. You just have to pay. That's one thing that you just have to pay for. That's just the way it is, man. You gotta bite that bullet. You gotta go ahead and pay for that. Yeah. So he said he in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, fam.
I knew you were from the South. Got to be from the South, but
Dallas-Fort Worth, man.
We might need you to go check some stuff out for us. But,
for sure.
There's a contact there, but it seemed like that Dallas-Fort Worth area be clicking. It'd be some traffic one way or the other.
Yeah, be some stuff over there in Dallas-Fort Worth, man, going on. We have to hit us up, though, Wolf of Wall Street, man. You got to hit us up on IG. We got a property over there, man, that we're trying to, get a deal done on, man. We may need some people to help us out. So, shoot, hit me up on IG, man. And shoot, man, we'll see if you can help us out, man, for sure.
Yeah, so we help the seller out, because that's ultimately what this is about. Which I want to make another point. This is something you must know. And I'm just going to speak personally. It took me a while to really wrap my mind around this, even though I heard it from the beginning, is you gotta be in the mindset of solving problems as opposed to how do I get my check, especially in the beginning, because you're going to come across people and you're going to be on the phone having these conversations and you're going to be thinking about your check and not their problem and how to solve it.
And they're going to be thinking about their problem. Like the seller's thinking about their problem.
They live in their problem. They're experiencing their problem.
Like, you're going to miss their problem. You know what I'm saying? You're going to miss their problem.
I'm telling you.
And then Cordero going to call them and talk about the problem. And he going to get the deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's not even, for me personally, dog, I've been in sales before I even got in real estate. And I realized I'm trash at sales if it's not something I believe in. And so it wasn't just something I had to be like, oh, talk about their problem. I believe in helping people solve their problem. And that's real, something that I wrap my mind around. Like the guy in Fort Worth is like, I think we the best people to solve this problem. He got a crazy situation he got. And we like, oh man. I'm like, nah. People say, I heard somebody say, I think it was Brent Daniels. He said, ugly houses, big checks. But I think it's motivated sellers, big checks, which essentially big problems, big checks.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
oh, hey, what Jesus say? What Jesus say?
No, Big said first, more money, more problems. The way I see it, more problems, more money.
Money. Yeah. Yeah. No problem.
Yeah.
Think like that, man. Think like that. That's something that you got to know. Um, another thing, we touched on this a little bit, but and we probably go in on it, but VAs, don't hire VAs if you don't have a job. Don't hire anybody if you don't have a position for them to fill.
Yeah, for
You know what I
sure.
mean? Don't do it the other way around where people will be like, okay, let me hire a VA. Then I'm like, how you keep your VAs busy? I heard somebody
Yeah.
ask me that one time. I was just like, huh? It's like, why did you hire them if you don't have nothing for them to do? But when you have a position and you know what position that they need to fill, and also you got to think too, you want to be able to afford them. You don't want to hire somebody. These is real people. Just because they're in the VAs and they virtual, they're not like artificial intelligence. These are real human beings that really have families and they really rely on this job and the consistency of it. So if you get them in a position and you ain't got the consistency established and you hire them, next thing you know, you taking breaks or you inconsistent or you out of business, then that person's out of a job. And their kids can't, they got to go scramble and figure out another job. Think about that when you take on these people, even if they're VAs or in-house people that you haven't over here in the States. Before you hire somebody, you need to have the foundation set for them to come on and really have success. So that way, when they come on, they're adding value to the momentum that you've already established, and it's just they fall right into place. But if you do it the wrong way, it don't work. That's something you must know. What's some other stuff that you must know?
Man, I think writing the contract, understand the concept of wholesaling.
For sure, for sure.
Um, Communication is key, man. I think that's another thing. It's like communicating with the seller, communicating with the buyer, communicating with the title company. Your communication got to be on point. You got to make sure that you're constantly letting people know what's going on throughout the process, how the process is going to go, and stuff like that. I think that's big. You know what I'm saying? With things you must know. Like you must know that you got to communicate with that seller and keep them fresh on what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. Same thing with the buyer, same thing with the attorney's office. You just got to keep boom, 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 boom. I think that's huge, because when you start communicating, when you stop letting people know exactly what's going on, man, your deal be end up dead on the side of the road. You like, man, why that deal that? you be crying over it because your deal done got killed because you weren't communicating enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta communicate, man. How long does it take? How long does it take to close a deal? Somebody on IG said, how long does it take to close a deal? Well, I mean, if you got a deal, I mean, you got the seller and you got the buyer. Shoot, you can close a deal in a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? The
Man,
only the question is, how long is it going to take you to talk to enough people to find somebody who need to sell? And do you already have buyers, or how long is it going to take you to get in contact with people who's looking to buy? Like
yeah.
those are the two things that take the time, and that's all going to depend on you and how many people you reaching out to. If you reached out to 1 million people in one day, you probably find somebody who interested in selling.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
even if you trash, you're gonna find a few people ready.
Exactly.
That's where
Yeah,
uh,
but
uh, quantity gonna beat out quality at that point. If you could hit 1 million in one day, you're doing your thing.
yeah, for sure, man. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like it all depends on how many people you reaching
Yeah.
out to get in contact with that person. Now, if I'm reaching out to 5 people a day, how long you think it's gonna take me? A long time. You know what I'm saying?
Presumably a long.
I would say if you reaching out to 10,000 people a day, in a week, you probably get a contract. If you're reaching out to 10,000 people a day, in a week, you get a contract. So I would say maybe reach out to 50,000 people. If you reach out to 50,000 people, I would say after you reached out to 50,000 people, you should have got a deal.
I mean,
I guess it depends on how long it take you. Like,
right.
the quicker you can reach out to 50,000 people, the
Yeah.
faster you get a deal. Because I've seen, like, I don't know, most times you reaching out to 50,000 people in a short period of time, you about to get a deal. I'll say that you done ran into a deal. Now, whether you get it or not, you done ran into a deal. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be ready to get that deal. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You got to have the buyers ready to make the correct offer. Competitive cash offer, right? You got to get the buyers to make a competitive cash offer. You know what I'm saying? You got to know how to get them under contract. You know what I'm saying? You, like Cordero was talking about, solving their problem. You got to understand how to solve their problem, because you're gonna run in 50,000 people. You're gonna run into somebody who got a problem, who need to sell. Can you solve that problem? You can, if you have a cash buyer.
Yeah, I think that competitive cash offer is a whole separate point that we're gonna have to break in this video, actually, because that was a key for me. But shout out Cash, by the way, man. Shout out
to my guy Cass out there in Cali, and shout out to Rosie, man. Rosie asked that question over there on IG.
But that question, though, man, I think that question, they almost trying to pin us to a guarantee, because people ask that question all the time, obviously, and I understand why Rosie asked that question. But it's like kind of pinning us, like, can you guarantee I'm gonna get a deal? Because they asking you, like, give me a certain. But that's like saying, I'm not married, and I was like saying, man, how long does it take to find a wife?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's kind of a wild question, because I know people who have been married.
It's like, how long it take you to find a wife, and you sit at home and play PlayStation all day long?
It all depends. You gonna take it all day long, but it's just like, it all depends on a number of factors, man. Because I know folks who cold call hours out of the day, and it took them a couple months. I know folks that literally only talk to a handful of people and just got the right place at the right time.
That's what the same way. You may go outside, walk down the road, and find somebody that you about to marry.
You might find your wife on the Xbox Live.
Exactly. But
you might find your wife. So it's just like, I think that's the wrong question per se. That question just kind of, a lot of new people ask it. I asked it in the beginning.
Well, no. I don't think it's the wrong question if it's followed by the correct action.
No, that's what,
because it's like, I can guarantee you. You know what I'm saying?
That's what
reach out to 10,000 people a day.
Yeah.
Reach out to 10,000 people a day. I guarantee you, within 30 days, you'll have a contract.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, and somebody was asking,
at some point there is a threshold. At some point, it's like, some point is like, what I've seen. Like, from what I've seen, when I'm reaching out to 10,000 people a day, you about to get that contract.
No, man, I'm telling you, like, you about to get a contract. If you could spend 4 hours in the dialer, and then 4 hours, at least 2 hours following up with the leads that you get from the dialer, 4 hours in the dialer, 2 hours following up. Or, if you could do that every day, you're going to get a contract quick. You know what I mean? But again, my only point is, the question almost, I think your answer was the right answer. But when people ask that question, they almost like saying, so how long? I don't think you answer the question in terms of this: if you put out X amount of volume, you're going to get Y return. But they're asking the question as far as time. It's like, how long does it take to a deal? It's like, what are you doing in the meantime? You know what I mean? And
that's why I say it depends on your action. It's like, it's like, if you reach out to 1 million people today, you will find a deal.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite sayings. That question wasn't wrong, it was incomplete. You see what I'm saying? It's just like, how long does it take to find a deal if I'm texting 10,000 people? You see what I'm saying? It's not wrong. It's just add something to it.
Depending on your action, like Grant Cardone says, like, everybody misjudge how much action it takes to get the result. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you think, man, well, Cordero said to call 4 hours a day, I can only call between 2 and 5. I'm gonna call these 3 hours. I should still be able to get a deal. It's like, nah, dude, it's gonna take you way more than what you think. You know what I'm saying? You got to put forth massive. Now, if you put forth massive action, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to lose 50 pounds. Okay. Cordero, how fast can I lose 50 pounds?
Boy.
It depends on what you gonna do.
You know what you got to do.
You gonna keep eating double cheeseburgers, Big Macs, and pizza?
Because you got to think, to your point too, when you think massive action or losing weight, it only takes a workout where you going in and you like, man, I'm gonna go jog, I'm gonna go lift weights. That's massive action.
That's what I'm saying. You talking about, hey, I'm gonna wake up in the morning. I'm waking up at 5, working out. Okay, after lunch, I'm finna go work out, and then before I go to sleep at night, I'm finna get another work. You do a 3 a days. You do 3 a days. Eat right, man. Boy, that thing finna start dropping.
It's like, at that point, and then you combine that with eating right and drinking, staying hydrated, and getting the proper amount of rest. All of that stuff, not having a whole lot of stress going on. Like that's why so many folks. I used to laugh at folks, be like, "Oh, I over summer I put on this much muscle, or I lost some weight in high school with their parents paying all the bills." I'm like, dog, do that when you paying your own bills and you got your own 9 to 5. And your life is stressing you out, dog. You just did that to your parents pay for everything. Anybody can put on all of that muscle if their parents paying for the diet, if they buying the groceries. Come on now, stop it. But I think to your point is ultimately it just entirely depends. We can't say if you do this, it's guaranteed to happen. But
we can say if you take that massive action, though,
you are greatly in the right room to get a deal very quickly if you're texting 10,000 people a day, dog. And the more you do it, the more likely you are to it to get to a deal. But I think you made another point was, what'd you say? You said something. I was like, man, that's a good point. I forgot what you said though. Crazy. I just wrote you on TikTok about the difference between your course and the $100 sub.
So yeah, the difference is you get to talk to me, people on my team, Cordero, a couple other people who do deals. We meet up on Sundays. We talk. We show you everything. You know what I'm saying? You take the course, you getting some pre-recorded videos. I recorded, showing you how to do
charge for that. That course is the hardest course, the hardest free course that there is. Period. You ain't gonna get hardest free course that there is, dude.
But like the $100, if you pay $100, get in the group. Like I'm gonna show you the entire thing, like literally showing you everything that I do. I'm gonna show you everything that I do. So it's like, man, you can jump in this group and start. You can make 6 figures easy. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ty jumped in the group, did his first deal, 17K.
Ty doing flips.
That's what I'm saying. But Ty jumped in like in April, like he started doing his thing. Ty turned that thing over pretty quick. I'm pretty sure he's gonna make 6 figures this year.
Shoot, I don't know how many deals I've closed since just back when you had the mastermind too, which is another thing you probably.
Shoot, I ain't even doing the mastermind. Like I ain't done no mastermind. I'm just doing the $100 a month. Show up every week, and I'll show you how to do everything.
Yeah, for sure. But I do. Speaking of, I think in that group, he at least give you a buyer or two or something like that, or you got access to buyers with that. And another point I say, I think you must know this, is that getting the right buyers is going to make a world of difference. Because when you are able to do them competitive cash offers, that's going to make a world of difference.
Yeah.
Because people tell me all the time, they're like, yeah, I got calls from investors all the time. And they were, you guys are just lowballing me. When we come with cash offers, the cash offers be kind of like up there. They'll be like, this is a reasonable cash offer. For a lot of people, for some people, they still going to list it on the MLS. But being able to get
they're going to list it on the MLS, what's going to happen to them?
They're going to get beat up. Get that Mike Tyson treatment. Price cut. They getting toe up.
Oh man, they get toe up on the MLS. man.
Because here's the thing, man. The realtors, all they do is sell you a dream. Oh, you want the most amount of money? I'm gonna sell you. Your house is ARV is 250. You can get at least 275 if you list it. 270, maybe even 285. That's how they bait them in. And then they get you to sign the listing. And then they don't do no work after that. They don't do no work after that. They just throw it up there and sit back and sip pina coladas or something. I'm not entirely sure what some of these real estate agents do. Some of them, because there are obviously they're good and bad real estate agents. It's like they're good and bad wholesalers. Me and Mika was talking about that. Just like there's good and bad doctors, there's some good and bad mechanics out there. Yeah. Some just gonna get you what you need, and some just gonna play around. So some of these real estate agents is just wasting people time. And that's when you look on, you see price cut, price cut, price cut. Whew. He done got cut up.
Yeah, dude. Cut up. Chucky got beat up. Hey, you ever call that dude back in Smyrna, man? That Jugger had his property on the market and went down like $100 grand on the market, still didn't sell
it. Was it
the one that was vacant?
And he was like, "Yeah, I did call him back. I constantly call him back. By the way, he always be like, "I can't talk right now. Call me back in an hour." I'm like, "Are you sure?" Yeah, call me back in an hour. I call him back in an hour. He never answers. And this is like a couple of times. That's prime example. That's Mike Tyson when he just got out of prison.
Beat folks up.
Boy, we talking about over a year stretch. Price cut, price cut, price cut. And he's still hard-headed about the price.
Nobody wants it.
You think the prices is about to go up, bro? You better sell now. I'm about to start using that as my pitch. Y'all better sell now before anything gets worse in this market.
Hey, on IG, man, Ryan says, "What's up? What state you located in?" I'm located in Georgia, in the A. Anyway.
I'm from I'm in Tennessee. You know what I mean?
Zero in Tennessee. We got BBE. Mr. Banks said you started doing novations in the A. Nah, man, haven't started doing no novations, but we are starting to list properties that we got in the contract. So,
which we don't know. Or at least I don't know the difference between what we're doing in a novation.
I don't know what the difference between what we're doing in novation, but we listing properties on the market.
I think we
list our first property on the market that we got in the contract. So we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see.
I think the key is that we don't.
Ryan on IG says, how would that be able to work if I'm in California market? If you're in California, you can still wholesale anywhere, man. Anywhere in the country. Like I'm in Georgia. The property that we got in the contract is in Fort Worth,
Texas.
And we're gonna list it on the MLS. We did a deal in Clarksville, Tennessee, which Cordero's not in Clarksville. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in Clarksville.
I'm like, because Byron's like, man, I'm all the way to Clarksville. I am really far. Like I'm in Tennessee. I go to Clarksville when I feel like it, essentially, or when I absolutely have to, which is rare, but mostly like when we need to. So even if you are wholesaling in a market that's in your state, you don't even got to go there. Matter of fact, you could be wholesaling in your city. You could wholesale right around the corner and never even go to the property.
I wholesale right around the corner, never went to see the property. I made $126,000 off this property. Never went to go see the property. I drove almost right past the property every day to go to work. Never went to see the property. Even into this day, never drove by that property.
I think I speak for a couple of people on this live. I didn't went to go look at that thing just because I didn't want to go touch the mailbox. I'm just like,
dude, I wanted to. I was like, I'm gonna drive by there one day. I go to work because I actually bought it because I had to like resell it to a buyer. Like the seller wanted to stay in for a month. Like he wanted me to buy it, let him stay for a month, and then.
So you solved the problem for him, right?
Yeah, solved the problem. But that back then, I was stupid. I bought it with my own money. Like I bought it with my own cash, personal cash. Bought it. You know what I'm saying? I bought this house for $125,000. And then I sold it for like 250 something. You know what I'm saying? It
That
was
sounds
a
like a
stupid.
smart investment. I don't know
Dude,
what you.
it was a stupid, dude. It was so stupid. The deal was so stupid, man. Dude. I never got on the phone with the seller. It was all through text messaging.
Yeah.
I was so scared. I'm like, dude, ain't no way that dude showing up sign. Showed up, signed the paper, closed that mug. Oh my god.
Wow.
Man. And then yeah, man, ended up selling that mug, but it was like on my way to work every day. I would like only thing I had to do is like turn off the road just a little bit, go back there and see it. Nope, never did. Never did.
At least mothers are walking by that 120 something $1,000 check. I'd be at, I'll just go. You bought the hold on. I just missed this. You bought that. You owned that property for a month and never went to go look. I mean, you tripping out of it. But even understanding the circumstances, just for anybody curious, Byron is speaking how silly that purchase was because now he could just finance that with somebody else's money.
Yeah.
And pay very, very close to like very affordably. He could do that. But I think even outside of that,
it probably would have cost me $1,000, $2,000, maybe $1,000, $2,000.
But even outside of that, just an investment. If you were going to take that 120 something thousand, where else could you just double it in 30 days?
I'm telling you,
It's a sound investment, I think. You know what I mean?
It was stupid, man. Oh man, that was crazy, dude. That's the craziest I've ever done, though. So it's the craziest. I ain't seen nothing like that.
I think this is a good time to mention this. Speaking of things you must know, this is kind of projecting for the future. We're obviously talking about wholesale and real estate, but we've been talking about this a lot. Depending on as things start to progress in our market, who knows what's going to hit us and when it's going to hit us. I think you need to know other exit strategies other than just wholesaling, right?
Yeah,
you need to either know how to finance a property, get in touch with some lenders or some private money people. So maybe you need to take a property down for a couple of days to help solve that seller problem. Also, that gives you the leeway to solve more seller problems if you can take it down and take the time to give the sellers just solve that problem and then get it to a buyer who would buy it. But they need that problem solved before they put their hands on it. Yeah. And you don't want to just let the deal go or figure out how to do novations or list it. Maybe even sub two. And I'm not saying just you need to know all of that. You need to master all of that and get all of that figured out. And then you can start get you the fundamentals of wholesaling and what that is. And then maybe try to add one of those things and get real good at it.
Yeah.
Just so you got it there for you.
And then just add them on as you go. And obviously we talking about levels to this. You know what I'm saying? It's like maybe somebody who just getting started, they need to know how to write a contract. But somebody who's been doing deals need to learn how to take a property down. They need to learn how to, list the property while they got it under contract. They need to learn how to do different stuff. Just like we need to learn how to list the property while we got it under contract. Like we trying to figure out, okay, we need to learn how to do this. We're gonna need to learn how to do that. We're gonna need to learn how to do this different stuff, because we just need to know how to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's levels to this. Like all these different levels, people need to learn how to do this and that. Like we need to learn how to get leads offline. You know what I'm saying? We need to learn how to get inbound leads, basically. We need to learn how to get inbound leads. We need to learn how to do that. You know what I'm saying? So
marketing channels. I think that's a whole nother point right there. That? Like the different prospect and marketing channels. It's like I talk about cold calling because I cold call. Byron text a lot, but that's one thing that never registered to me until I start rocking with Byron was that you benefit from having multiple channels, texting, cold calling, and bandit signs. Like, again, it's levels. When you first get started, pick one, hit it, and go. But as you start to go, you want to be able to incorporate more and more to it. And that really what strengthens your castle, makes your entire marketing process that much more effective when you got different marketing channels. And if for whatever reason one ain't clicking off, the other one can be popping. The same as having multiple markets that you're in. So it's like you could be in Cali, and then you could be in Ohio, and then you could also be in, Tennessee or something like that.
So you talking about my boy Cass? He in Ohio and Cali and
Cass for sure, because Cass is a legend.
Iowa or something like that.
Cass is in some of the. He's in where was Dorothy, Kansas? Yeah. Cass wholesaled the deal in Oz. The house that fell on the witch. He wholesaled that one, man. Cass,
man, he be all over the place, dude.
Yeah, man. But that's something. But marketing, those two different things that I said, by the way. I hope I didn't say it too fast. It is all about levels, but different marketing channels. Whether it's inbound, you might want to start adding some. You need some inbound leads. And I think we really about to figure that out. You know what I mean? Next too. But then the second point is different marketing channels. The second point is different markets that you're in. Like Caritha said the other day, is just like having multiple markets is going to increase your possibility to hit certain levels and newer heights, because different markets do different stuff at different times.
Yeah, for sure. So Norman says, I'm hopping on this ASAP, trying to get the wife on board with spending $550 monthly that you were talking about in the course to get your business going. Hey, man.
If you talk about just spending $550 a month, how easy would it be to get your wife on board to making $30K a month?
Exactly.
An extra $30K of income. You know what I'm saying? We talking about the input that you're gonna put into this business, but what about what's coming back to you?
That's what I'm saying, dude. You ain't gonna go nowhere else, and they're gonna say, "Hey, spend this $550 a month, and you're gonna make six figures this year." Yeah, I don't know where else you're gonna go, and they're gonna tell you, "Hey, spend $550 a month." Hey, we ain't talking about making $10,000 in a year. We're not talking about making $50,000 in a year. We talking about making 100. You know what I'm saying? We talking about it's like a whole nother person working.
And we talking about really, you gonna need to. I think the wise man will quit. You gonna change whatever you're doing now. Let that go and do this more. Because if you can figure out how to make 100K off this in a year, you know what I mean, then do it in a month. After I get the right pitch to her, then we out of here. Hey,
I don't know if it's the right pitch, man. It's like, I don't think it's pitching it. It's the key, man. I think it's just like, shoot, I know with me and mine, it was like we was just on one page on our goals, like what we were trying to get, what we want our family to be, what we want our kids to be. You know what I'm saying? It was like, man, we dreaming together. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a big thing. Like, let's just dream together. Like, what could we get to? Like, what could we do? Like, if we start doing this, like, what could we really do for other people, for ourselves, for our kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, you start dreaming. You know what I'm saying? Your wife dreaming about your kids going to private school, dreaming about y'all living in this neighborhood that y'all drive by that you ain't got a shot at buying right now. You know what I'm saying? But you dreaming. Like, that's what we was doing. Like, we drove past the neighborhood that we live in a bunch of times before we ever had a shot. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we ride through the neighborhood like, man, this is crazy. So it's like you just start dreaming with your wife, like not even pitching her on like this stuff. It's just dreaming with her. You know what I'm saying? And then just let her know, you know what I'm saying, what you trying to do, how you want to get there. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big thing, man. Not just coming in and say, hey, this is what we're going to do, blah, 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 but just dreaming, you know, man, we want to do this. Figure out what she want to do. You know what I'm saying? And have her start thinking and start dreaming. And then it's like, man, if we do this right here, this dream can become a reality. You know what I'm saying? We did far away. We $550 a month away from making all that we dreaming about come to reality.
And then, man, that's so crazy. But you know, start with the end in mind. It's not about like what Byron's saying. It's not about selling her on the 550 or even selling yourself. Because I know that if you got to sell her, it's a little bit of selling yourself on it too at this point in the process. Because if you was 100% sold, your wife, your kid, your whole family wouldn't have no choice but to feel that, because it always trickles down. That energy reverberates. Even it's selling yourself, it's just like start with the end in mind. Because even if you didn't do wholesaling, dog, there's so many things you could do that could get you to that dream. But as long as you and your wife have made up your mind that you are committed to getting to that end goal, to that end result, like we want this new life. You only get one time around this track. We only get one life. And I think we deserve it. Me and Miss Fitzgerald, or you and Miss Fitzgerald deserve it. You know what I'm saying? But, speaking to yourself is just like, we deserve it. So what are we going to do? What are the viable options out there for us actually to reach those dreams and those goals and to realize our end goal? And then now we're looking at it like, wow, I done found an actual lane. So it's just like if you woke up, your wife in the middle of the night was just like, hey, wake up, we got to get in the car. We got to pack all our bags and we got to go and we got to just go get in the car. We got to go to the airport. It's like, that's going to be like, you're going to get a lot of pushback. Like, what's going on? Why, where, what? You're going to get more questions than response. I'm almost certain of it. But if you said, hey, we're going on vacation to the Bahamas, she'd be like, what? Yeah, we're going on vacation to the Bahamas. But you got to pack all the stuff and let's go to the airport and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just like, from that point, it's like you start with the end in mind, and then the steps in between, it ain't too much selling, it ain't too much pitching on. So when it comes to selling yourself, start with realizing that it's just about because and that's another thing I was about to say. It ain't just about doing this business and making money. It's not even just about solving other people's problems, but it's about creating the life that you want. You got to get something out of this whole ordeal. You're going to have to get something out of all of the hard work that you put in, all the times you spend in that dialer, all the text message conversations you done filtered through, all of the money you done put up and risked. You got to get something out of this. And what you do is, one, the man you become, the man or woman that you become. And two, the life that you get to live. It's totally different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So start with the end in mind before you start thinking, let me just sell her on the next step. That's like, trying to sell somebody on push-ups. Man, just do push-ups. Why? Just do it. If I can sell you on the fact that you're going to be ripped, you're going to have a chest, you're going to have arms, you're going to have abs and all of that, then it's a lot easier to get over the hurdle of each workout. Because if you're just selling her one thing, you're going to be continuously selling her each step, or selling yourself on each step from here. When in reality, you need to start with the end in mind, and then all of that, it'll connect.
Yeah, for sure, man. Because I know, like, I became a way better person. You know what I'm saying? It's like my wife can see me change and become a better person. She can see me change, become a better husband. She can see me change, become a better dad to my kids. You know what I'm saying? And just seeing that and seeing the direction I was going in, she's like, man, this joke. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're doing something, like you for real, like you serious, like you, like, dude, you ain't like, I ain't watching football.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't looking at the game. Like stuff that meant something to me didn't mean nothing to me. Like, I was doing stuff, I was changing. You know what I'm saying? I was doing stuff that I wasn't doing before. I was being better. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, when you start doing stuff like that and people see that, like, dude, this dude is serious. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't just about the money to him. It's about bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than that. And I always would preach that to tell my wife that and stuff like that. She understands, like, it's bigger. You know what I'm saying? It's not just that we want to get to where we get for money. It's like we trying to improve the next generation in every aspect, right? And financially, in education, in health, and spiritually, mentally, we want them to be mentally strong. We want them to be spiritually strong. Like this, we do stuff different because we want them to be a certain way. Like, it ain't like we just ain't in a better financial position. Like, we in a better emotional position. We in a better spiritual position. We in, like, all our positions have advanced. You don't just get better in one area. You know what I'm saying? You don't go to the gym and just come out with one strong arm. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't go to the gym every day. It just get one strong leg. You know what I'm saying? It's like your legs get stronger, your arms get stronger, your ankles get stronger, your knees get stronger. It's like, it's like, you know what I'm saying? You got to get better, period. You cannot remain the same person and think you're gonna get different results. You just can't, man. It's like you cannot do that.
Yeah. That's the definition of insanity. You know what I mean? And it's not what you get, it's who you become. Like we always talk about, it's not about what you leave to your children, but it's what you leave in them that's gonna matter ultimately in the end. Because just dropping some money off ain't the distinguishing factor between a good life and not having a good life. Because I could give old Byron all the money, and if he didn't have the right mindset and the right peace about himself, spiritually, mentally, physically, etc., then it would just be money and on top of the same situation you in. And we talk about it all the time. It's like the biggest growth is just like, and it's not about me comparing myself to my peers and my peer group, but at some point you look back and just realize like I have come from where I was, and I'm a younger dude, and I started off when I was younger, and to my peers and looking to my left and my right and my family and what was expected of me from my environment, I've surpassed that, and I'm at peace with that. Like more than any amount of money, any amount of deals that I've done, I'm at peace with who I am today, which is so crazy. And then I can change things. I'm changing the entire trajectory of what's possible. Not even what I do, but like even what's possible, because it's not like you reach a certain level. It's just like, okay, to Byron's point, like going to the gym, it's like when you go to the gym, if you can get in this, if you can lose 50 pounds, you can gain 15 pounds of solid muscle. You can do whatever once you realize what's possible for you.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Like, man, I can do so much once you change the whole trajectory of what was expected. The expectation that was put on you by your environment, on your life. And most people just kind of go with the flow. When you get a hold of this entrepreneurship, it forces you to actually constantly grow and evolve you, or else your business won't survive. Your business won't go anywhere, because once you start your business, you are the business in the beginning. And if you don't grow you, and then once you grow your leadership skills, you grow your capacity to put a team together, you grow your capacity to set the tone. If you don't grow that, then your business is. So it forces you to do that. And while you're doing that, you realize like, dog, I could change how I think spiritually. I could change how I talk to people. Like I don't got to be rude or negative all the time, all day anymore. I could just change my attitude about life in general. Like before we started this live, Byron got some of the craziest news that I had ever heard. Just like probably as a business owner, you just get some crazy news. It wasn't nothing crazy, but it was crazy to me. It was crazy. It was just like off the case. You know what I mean? We just having a good time. Then Byron is just like, oh, we can still keep, he's looking at it's like you're looking at the whole brighter side of life when something like that pops up, and you're not just, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, he's in the mindset of abundance and just growing forward and growth. And like, life is good. You know what I mean? And so you get around the right people too. The people that you gain, the friendships, like, dog, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm 26 now. I want to say the 20-year-old Cordero, Byron, you wouldn't hang out with me. You wouldn't be able to interact with me. Like you would be like, God, I can't just talk to this dude. I can have one conversation. I can't keep talking to him. Just y'all wouldn't want to listen to me on the live. It would be terrible. You know what I mean? So it's like I've grown so much just by forcing myself to grow in this business. And so it's not just about what you get, it's who you become and who your wife and family gonna become and what's possible for them, dude. Man, just have her watch this live. That's all you gotta do, y'all.
Oh, man. For sure. So William Johnson said, man, facts, you brothers dropping life gems, not just real estate gems. I think it's just, man, it's just like, like we were just talking about, it's like you just don't get better in one area.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you just don't get better in one area. You don't just go out here and just start making plenty of money and nothing changes. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to go out there and get better, man. You have to go out there and get better. I think that's a big thing. Like your mind has changed. You know what I'm saying? So like I think that's the big thing, man. You know what I'm saying? So for sure. So I think it's Paul T. Said, okay, what we learning today, man? We learning what you need to know to get going, or what you need to know, period, in this wholesale real estate game, man. And like I said, there's different levels to this,
Excuse me.
depending on what level you on, it'll depend on what you need to know. You know what I'm saying? Um, so Norman said, can't wait to work with y'all, man. Hey, go ahead and hit the group, man. We had Steven jump in last week, man. Steven jumped in. We helping him out, helping him find buyers right now. And putting him on. And we're gonna come back next week, man. Try to help him start his marketing and all the prospecting and all that stuff. So yeah, man, jump in there, man. We there to help people, man. So that's what we do, man.
Yeah. Until what's his name? Williams Point. That's something that we're big on. It's like we talk about. We're not just giving you tactical, do this and do that, which we do, and that is ultimately very important. But we understand, like, dog, we understand that there's levels. We understand that where you might be at mentally trying to get over a certain hurdle to make a decision.
Yeah, because really, it's not until you get to a place mentally that you even dare to take action. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to get to a place mentally to take action. You know what I'm saying? It's like mentally you have to get to a certain place to where you can take action. You know what I'm saying? The same thing I was telling, I don't know who it was asking about his wife, but he was saying, it's a certain place you got to get to together to where it's solid, and they know, like, when that joker make that move, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's because they believe in something that's bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, my wife when I make a move, it's because I believe in something that's bigger. You know what I'm saying? I got a big vision. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, he trying to make something bigger, so it's like mentally you have to get to a place before you even gonna take action on that. You know what I'm saying? Because even in business, like mentally you got to get to a certain place before you reach that next level, before you reach that next level, before you reach that next level.
It's constant.
It's a constant thing. It's like I'm trying to mentally get to the place where it's like, man, we listing properties that we get under contract. You have to get to that next level mentally before you know what I'm saying?
Like I always say, bro, the difference between a guy who's making $10 million and a guy who's making $100 million, they're not the same guy. I think we all just sit back like, oh, millionaires are millionaires. No, the $10 million dude and the $100 million dude, two totally different cats.
Exactly. Just like me and my wife watch Shark Tank. And it's like, millionaire, Mark Cuban, billionaire. I'm like, dude, these people are not the same. It's like, she be like, she'll say, oh man, I would have took Kevin deal, or I would have took this person. I'm like, no, man, this dude over here is a billionaire. Like, dude, Mark Cuban is a B that's a B. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not the money. It's not the monetary value. It's he's performing. He's moving. He's got
another light,
momentum.
Oh, man, dude.
He execute different. If I tell him an idea, he gonna do it. If I tell him to make a sandwich, he gonna make it different than I would. You know what I mean?
His circle is different, man. Like his circle is different. Like he got it. Like these people got circles, and then there's ripples go out.
They circles got teams.
Exactly. They circles got circles. You know what I'm saying? People in their circle got big circles. You know, it's like, dude.
They circles got teams. And you brought up another point I thought was good, was like you said this earlier, not even in context of this, but communication is so major. Like being able to communicate. You were talking about in business, but like you said, if you got a spouse, you want to be. I read this book. It's called The Art of Communication. It's by Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a Buddhist monk. But I read it originally because I thought it was going to help me improve in talking to sellers and just in business and sales. But it's totally different because it talks about 3 points that I never would have thought about. Well, one, I thought it was just dialogue. We talking back and forth. That's dialogue. I'm talking to another person. But it talks about your inner dialogue or monologue, which is talking to yourself, communicating between you and yourself. When you, because my guy, Fitzgerald Norman, he's got to communicate with himself first before he can go fully tell his wife and sell her on the idea or get her on board of this bigger vision. He got to get clear between him and himself. What's the big idea about this whole thing, right? It's like that's an important process, and people skip that when they talk about communication. And then the third step is when they talk about communicating with your environment around you. It's just making that known. So there's more to communicating than just talking to people. It's communicating between yourself. It's like how you know if you're mad, how you know are you frustrated or are you angry? And those aren't actually the same things. And how you gonna communicate that to your wife or your spouse, somebody you gotta do life with, if you ain't said that, came to a conclusion between you and yourself yet? And so when it comes to this whole ordeal about how far we want to take it in business, how deep we want to go with it, you need to be able to sit down with yourself and be like, man, how far do I want to take it? What sort of lifestyle do I want to have? And how far do I believe is possible for me to go? Before you sit down with your wife and be like, no, like every decision I'm making from here on out is to get to there. If we want to live in Italy and vacation in Brazil or whatever, like if you want to have a crazy life, you need to figure that out and then communicate that with your wife so she can trust, or your spouse, whoever we're talking to, so they can trust that every move and decision you're making from this point on out is for that goal. But you got to be able to communicate internally. And so communication, I just believe in over communicating, talking, whether it's with your team, whether it's with yourself. It's like, don't be afraid. If you're in the dialer and you're cold calling, or if you're following up with a lead and doing acquisitions, whatever, over communicate if necessary, because you need to be absolutely clear on what's being said and what's being talked about. I think communication is a major key at all levels. And even, what's his name? Billionaire Warren Buffett said, when somebody, I think it was Tony Robbins, asked him, well, what do you think is your greatest investment? And you think he's going to talk about like investing in Coca-Cola or Pepsi or something. He says, when he went to I believe it was the Andrew Carnegie or Dale Carnegie or something like that, saying where he learned how to communicate. He said, going to that, learning how to communicate was my greatest investment. This is Warren Buffett. Now, if we talking about billionaires with a B, this is one of the biggest B's. You know what I'm saying? He young thug out here. He one of the big B's out here, man.
Yeah.
The way he moved, and if he put so much value in communicating, you know it's important. But just in your life, you can see that today. How many arguments you done got in miscommunication? How many times you driving in traffic and you mad like, oh my God, why are you going so slow? You don't know who in that car because you can't.
Exactly. You don't know what they're going through.
That could be, they could have a baby in the back and you trying to speed and cut them off. That could be an old lady.
Somebody could just called them, told them that their mama died. Like, man, you don't know what these people going through.
Because you can't communicate with that person. But when you do and they tell you what's going on, I bet you'd be like, oh.
Everything slow down. Your jump might slow down then.
Yeah, real talk. Because that shows the power of the words, communicating. And so being able to do that, not just in business, but in life general, but the better you get, the more you level up in business, you'll realize your ability to communicate and identify what's being said that really matters, what I need to pay attention to. And communication is twofold. It's not just what you say, it's how you listen. Your capacity to listen gets even better. You know what I mean? Just communication. Listen to yourself, I guess is what I'm saying. It's not just talking to yourself, but listening to yourself. Most people don't do that. We ignore ourselves, we ignore our environment around us, and we ignore the people we're talking to while we're having a conversation. We just waiting on our response. We're not even listening to how many times you ever get off work and then you driving and you just show up at the house? You like, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
It showed up here. That's what it means to be not communicating with your environment around you. You just going in autopilot. And what people don't know is that's a form of miscommunication, and you do it too much. And so you need to get to a place where you can communicate a lot better. And as you go in business and you level up, we get better. Like being able to communicate to a seller, hey, we want to list your property on the market before we close on it. That's the level of communication. You know what I mean? So being able to get good at communicating, I'm telling you, you're going to grow. That's something you need to know about business and life in general. Setting goals and reaching them is your capacity to communicate will take you there. It'll take you there. But You're sharp for your age, and that shows wisdom being applied. Man, thank you. Thank you, dog. I really do appreciate that. You know, I'm just, you know, some people, and I realize this in life when I meet other people who are like younger men and women who are also kind of like, you know, you can tell that they're more sharp for their age, you know, you would say. It's like some people just kind of got to grow up sooner. But ultimately, like you said, wisdom being applied, I think it just boils down to what you actually apply and what you're actually willing to like. What you learn is not just about what you learn, but how you implement what you learn into your life. So shout out to Dig. I appreciate that, man.
Dig say you're sharp for your age, man. And that shows some wisdom being applied. No doubt, man. No doubt.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna, hey, when I first saw Byron's his first video where he said he made 30K, I was like, dog, who is this young? I thought he was younger than me. I thought he was like 18. I was like, let me just watch this young dude. Just to see what he's talking about. Young dude got his first deal or whatever.
Nah, dude. Nah, man. So Cass said, love what you guys are doing. Absolutely great content. Appreciate it, Cass, man. Coming through, Cass out there in Cali. Coming through on us. Mika said, definitely. What's up, mate?
Shout out, Mika.
So they said, wish I had that focus at your age. I had to learn what I did. I'm currently at the age of 42 in federal prison. Oh, man.
I did at my current age of 42. And for I see, and that's a different level of decision making. Learning how to make decisions in prison, that's a different way of learning life. That's a different way of living in life. But you hear on this live, and you're not, you know, on another live or watching, you're not
foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Another thing is like age. You know what I'm saying? It's like it really doesn't matter. It's like I had to be when I got my first deal. What was I? 32. I was 32 when I got my very first deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like you never know what can happen in boom, 3 years. I'm in a completely different place. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, I had my first deal 3 years ago.
Yeah.
3 years later, I'm in a completely different place. It's like, dude, if you'd have told me at 20 that I'll end up where I am now, I'm like, shoot, I take it. At 35, you that house right there, you know, and your kid's gonna go over here, you're gonna have this. It's like, I take it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have two businesses that both of them 2 6-figure business. I take it. You know,
let me ask you something. Byron Scott at 15 years old. If you'd have gave him a snapshot of today,
man, nah, dude, you'd be like, man, this is out of control, man. It's like, dude, ain't no way, dude.
Like, man,
I thought I was gonna end up at Piggly Wiggly, so we're working. It's like, dude, I was good, man. I'm at Piggly Wiggly. I'm good. I'm chilling. My senior year, I'm at Piggly Wiggly. I'm good. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
You know, my brother one called me. Was like, hey, man, you going to college? I'm going to college, man.
Got it.
Yeah. Just start paying $5.75 at Piggly Wiggly, man.
What? You grew up in Chevy, Tennessee, man. You had to. Yeah, you grew up where I was from. And again, that's what I mean by what your environment expects of you, what you expect of you changes as you start to apply yourself. But you know what I mean?
Know what I'm saying, man.
All of this now and like it to be possible, I'm sure that's got to be surreal. Man, dude, I spent 17 years of 17 years of your life in prison, man. And I don't, you know, not that it matters because that's crazy. But my pops, he spent a lot of time in the pen. All of the most important men in my life, like my uncle, like the people I could look up to from a young age on, they were, you know, in the streets. They did what they did. That's how they made their money. They never had a 9-to-5, and they spent enough time in prison that I was just like, that was a viable option for me. And again, that's something that my environment expected of me. That was real. It was easier for me to go do some stuff that would get me 17 years. That was more accessible than it was for me to figure out how to cold call a wholesale or anything like that. You see what I'm saying? Like I could even to this even to this day, it's still probably be a lot more easier to go that direction. And so for me, it was a huge, like, I can't even believe that I'm here and not there, but I understand that. And so I hate that you had to go through that, but it's just like one thing I realized too from my uncle is like all this stuff, a lot of the stuff that I learned from real estate came from him. After he got out, man, he just like, again, age don't really define you. What you've been through in the past doesn't have to define you.
Yeah,
it
man.
can make you who you are. It can add to where you're going for you. You see what I'm saying? And so when he got out, he switched everything around and just like he got his own car dealership. He owns like the lot. He owns like real estate. He got rental property and all of that stuff. And I was just like, yo, this was before I even got into real estate. I was like, my uncle, who was always the man for being, a hustler, and it was just like when he made that transition, that was just like a little glimpse. I was like, oh, he can be the man this way too. And so that was just, to me, that was just like, oh, that's where I want to take it, because I know I don't want to be off in a pen. You know what I mean? So,
man.
But
yeah. And shoot, 42 is like, shoot, you 42 right now in your position. 5 years later, that thing could be completely different. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, 5 years from now, you could be at a place where you never thought you were going to be. You know what I'm saying? It's all about taking the action and taking massive action. It's like 5 years from now, you could be, 47. And it's like, dude, if I never went to jail, I never thought I would have made it to this point. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, I spent 12 years teaching high school. If you'd have told me at 15 or 18, hey, you're gonna end up there. It's like, dude, I never would have thought, hey man, I'm teaching 12 years of high school. It's like that wouldn't, like, the 12 years didn't even end up mattering. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it ended up not mattering at all. Like it didn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like what I did in those 3 years, and I was telling somebody, it's like, dude, I made more in 1 year than I did all 12 years teaching. You know what I'm saying? All 12 of them years. It's like, dude, it is like all 12 of them years could have been just wiped out. You're like, it didn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? It's like that jump could change, man. And shoot, a bunch of people that's big time did start doing stuff until they were way older. And now it's like, man, you don't even think about it. It's like, because you made it to a place where you never thought you were gonna make it. Wow. Dude, you'd have told me, hey, you end up here at 50. I'm like, I'm doing good. It's like, dude, there's people who 70 and ain't end up in this spot yet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, man, just always think that, man, as long as you got a chance. Go ahead. Go ahead, Cordero.
Sure, I was gonna say, if anybody ever had KFC, Colonel Sanders didn't start KFC until he was like 70 or in his 70s. You know what I mean? And it's just like life. Somebody told me like this: you got where you started at and where you end up, and everything else in between ain't gonna matter when you get to where you're going. And that's so important, because when you're in that place, it's like, this is just so crazy. It's almost like it's like a past life when you think about where you were. Like when I think back, I'm like, man, I done been through a lot. I done been through a lot in my life to even just like, and then also too, it makes you, I think it just makes you appreciate all of this that much more. I'm just grateful. No, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that I got this chair to sit in, and I'm not joking. Like, y'all don't know how many years like of doing my business I sat like either in a hot car on the dialer, or just like I didn't even have a real office chair and nothing like that. Like I'm just like it, but this was in the beginning. I'm handwriting letters. It's like I ain't complaining about being in the dialer. I'm just glad that I'm in the dialer and not like trying to hand dial numbers still, like from all those years ago. Or I'm more importantly than that, I'm glad I'm not back where I don't even want to. That's a whole nother life. I'm glad I'm not back where I came from, eating pancakes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know what I mean? Like sleeping, bro. I didn't sleep in my car. I didn't slept outside before. Like life was rough for me at a certain time. So it's just like
outside, no joke, man. It don't matter if it's It don't matter if it's in the middle of the summer. You sleep outside, that thing will get cold at some point.
It was the winter. Yeah, no, you're right. It will get cold even on the summer. It was the winter, and it was cold. You know what I mean?
Dude, that thing get cold. It doesn't matter. Like, dude, I just slept outside in the summertime. That thing still
got cold on you.
You gonna be like, man,
it's supposed to be hot. Yeah. Sleeping outside, just in general, is just like, I'm just glad I'm not there no more. So like, give you a different perspective. So what you've been through, the 17 years in prison, it's like you could look at it and you say decisions are vital, but our environment does play a part in shaping and molding our minds that affect our choices, which I absolutely agree. But I've adopted this mindset. There's a saying, the reasonable man insists in adapting himself to the world around him. The unreasonable man persists in adapting the world to himself. And the world could be his environment. You can either adapt to your environment or be completely unreasonable and continue to move forward. And the end of that saying is, therefore, all forward progress depends on the unreasonable man. Because he doesn't care about what his environment says. He continues to do what he knows is necessary and what's possible. So I propose that to say, yeah, I'm sure that your environment that led you there, 17 years in the pen, and even now since you've been out, all the things that are probably readily available to you are insisting that you just do the bare minimum. You just get a job. You just survive because you did the 17 years. But what if you were to be unreasonable with your environment and say, you know what, in spite of everything that I've been through, I'm gonna go change my life in the next 3 years and become a multimillionaire and get several multi-million-dollar businesses going, and I'm just gonna change my life. What if you decided to do that in an unreasonable stretch of the imagination with yourself? You're not even don't think realistic, just think what you want and go get it. You know what I mean? But I completely agree with what you're saying. But the only reason why I had to say that is because I come from a real harsh environment as well. I ain't do 17 years in the pen, which thank God I didn't. But I came from a harsh environment, and I had to say, you know what? I can let my environment define me, or I got to go against the grain. I have to fight. Like I said, I could still be a successful young person, but the other way. And I was probably this close to being 17 years in the pen. I could do that now, but I had to take a step back. I had to let go of my ego and pride and all of that stuff and decide to go the legit business route. And that was against my environment. Like I was raised in this. I ain't never seen, my dad was kind of in the house, but he was also in prison a lot. He was always in jail or locked up or something. So I ain't never seen nobody. I've never seen nobody have a real 9-to-5 in my household. My mom did, but I ain't doing what she did. You know what I mean? So the males in my environment, my environment told me, this is what you need to be. This is what you need to be. This is how you get your money. This is what you are. You're the provider, and this is how you provide. And I had to go against my environment to do that, which was tough. It was very hard, and it was difficult. But I'm saying you can do that now. That's all I'm saying. But I respect what you're saying. But the 17 years, it doesn't even gotta matter. Like you could in 3 years from now, you can be looking back on that like, oh dang, that really happened.
17 years just didn't even matter. Like I said, 12 years I spent teaching. Didn't even matter. If you just erase them, didn't even matter.
That 8 years, and I really appreciate that Norman actually put that in there because it gives us all like a understanding of perspective, how we all humans and how we all got it. He spent 8 years. Byron spent 12 years of teaching. He spent 8 years in the Army. You know what I mean? And then it's like it doesn't have to matter. Like your environment, I'm sure there's probably elements.
You don't look back on that and be like, man, because I did all that. Because I didn't look back and say, man, because I spent 12 years teaching. It's like, dang, I ain't gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is the person I want to be, or oh man, because man, them 12 years, man, they, you know what I'm saying? But I know it's difficult. Like, that's what I tell people too. It's like people look at like, 18, 17-year-old out here doing this. It's like, that's the best time to do it before you go and get yourself into something. You know what I'm saying? Before you go get yourself into the Army, before you get yourself into prison, before you get yourself into teaching for 12 years. You know what I'm saying? You get 12 years deep into teaching, you looking around like, man, you just you don't know if you can get out of it. You know what I'm saying? You
I'm
spend
sticking up
8
for the
years in
young
the
guys.
army, you like, I don't know if I can get out of this life. I don't know what, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know where I can go from here. You know, and then you establish a place where you're gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're young, it's still unsure, you know. And if you're young and hit big, it's like, oh dang, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
But when you're young and you hit low, it's like, dang, you know, you feel like like I was telling you yesterday, I felt like I was a $50,000-$70,000 man. $70,000 man, I'm at the top of the world. Like, man, I make $70,000. Like, man, you can't tell me. Now I feel like Kanye up in this thing, man. You can't tell me nothing, dude. It's like, man. It's like, dude, if I come an assistant principal, I'm going to be making close to $80,000. You can't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying?
It's
You
all
know, that's
perspective.
what I thought. That's what I'm saying. That bar gets set for you. You go spend 8 years in the army. You got an ideal of what you think society has told you. This is how much you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to be.
It's telling you, right?
Yep.
And again, I just want to point this small thing out. It's back to what I was saying earlier. This is why the book talks about communicating with your environment. When I read this, a lot of things changed for me because your environment does. And especially if you're putting it all on autopilot, you just soaking it up. If your environment is saying this is who you need to be, Piggly Wiggly is the best option for you, or you need to be out here hustling or robbing folks or doing whatever that's going to lend you. And if you don't take the time to say, whoa, let me actually communicate with my environment and I'm going to start taking the lead in this conversation with my environment, even if that makes me look crazy in the grand scheme of like, I'm the only one in my family. They like, man, you ain't, you know what I'm saying? Why you, I don't even want to go too deep in that on the live, but it's like, you be the only one in your family. So I'll take Norman's perspective. It's like, you know, Norman, I'm pretty sure he had pools. Maybe it was his father who was in the military. Maybe he like the third generation. Maybe he just was, you know, didn't have any other options left, or he just wanted somebody to pay for his school. Like, I'm not, you know, saying anything, Norman, but it could be a number of things. It's just like, you just got to really realize, like, you got to take that time to actually open up the conversation with your environment. Don't just go blindly. The same way you drive home blindly, that's what people do with their environment and just soak up. Like, this is what it is and this is what it needs to be. Say, no, put a stop to that and just be like, wake up, dude, to that conversation. William said, I'm on my 11th year as a truck driver, not to do another year. Wait, he's waking up. He's like, hold on. Let me this has just been the norm. This has just been what I got used to. This has been consistency and yada, yada, yada. Now what it causes you to do is to get outside of your comfort zone. Your environment tends to be your comfort. The environment that's handed to you tends to be in your comfort zone. Tends to be. And then you kind of get used to it, and that's what it is. When you decide to wake up and start saying, hold on. This ain't what I want. This ain't what I want. Like, I don't want this. And then you need to start realizing that everybody who's in a place worth being in, majority of them wasn't just, hey, you was born into this. Hey, you born into this. You was born Ray Lewis. You was born David Goggins. You're David Goggins. No, it was craziness. And when you hear back to the stories that they tell, like with David Goggins talk about running a marathon with no training or nothing, and he bleeding out of his eyes, like that sounds like a good story. We like, that's David Goggins. But the regular dude and did that, somebody's looking at him like, bro, what are you doing?
And what Eric Thomas say, it's gonna be a dog fight. Like, dude, trying to become who you supposed to come, it's gonna be a dog fight, man.
Fighting against your environment, that's a dog fight. That's like being in the water. That's being in a swimming pool trying to fight the water, trying to fight the ride. But you got to do it. You got to fight
a dog fight, man. A lot of people, they get in the fight. You get hit one time, boom. Oh no, man, quit. Must not be for me. It must not be for me.
Hit me. I ain't know he was gonna go like that. You can hit me too.
Nah, I didn't get a deal the first month. Whoop. It must not work. I didn't get a deal the first 3 months. What? Must not be for me. You know what I'm saying? Deal fell through. What? That's it. It's over. It's like, dude,
really
it's a dog fight, man. Like, dude, you got to be ready to go after it. Like, you know what I mean? Deals fell through before I got my. I had like 5 deals fall through before I got my first one.
Bro, you know
Five
what I mean? Bills just fell through a couple months, like a month ago. Like,
Dude,
like,
it's
bro,
gonna be a dog fight, man. Like you gonna like, dude, it ain't gonna be easy, man. Dude, you just
act-
gotta take action. And with this is gonna be our last point, man. We've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. We didn't went in on this one, man. It's like,
hey man, shout out to Dig too, man. I hope to see you consistently on the live. I hope to see some
yeah, no doubt, man.
everybody, Norman, William, everybody, because I
Yeah,
know we're all
man.
trying. Like we all trying, but like you said, ultimately it's gonna boil down to taking
We
action.
take action, man, for sure. It's like there's 9 people on here, like, subscribe, all that other good stuff. But 9 people can hear this. Or you're gonna be one person take action. You know what I'm saying? And improve yourself, get better. Take some action. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
Yeah.
it's the person who take action that's gonna end. It ain't about who the smartest. It ain't about who can talk the sweetest. It ain't about who get this and that. It ain't about your skills. You look at me like, nah, I definitely like, dude, if you'd have told me I'm the one that's gonna end up doing this, nah, dude, not me. All these other people got way more skills than me. All these other people way better than me. They smarter than me. They know how to talk better than me. I don't know how to talk, not very smart. I don't know a lot about technology. I didn't know a lot of dude, when I didn't even know what the word real estate meant. Like, dude, I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know what that meant. Like, I had no clue what that actually meant. No clue. Why would I ever run into that? Like, what would I be doing to make me run into the words real estate? I growing up, never read books. So why would I run into that word?
Yeah.
Nobody around me own any real estate. Why would I run into that word? It's like I had no reason to run into that word. There was no reason for me to ever run into that word. So it's like, dude, I'm telling you that against all the odds, the man who take action will be successful. Against all the odds. That's why you hear people, oh man, I was against this, but I ended up making it. It's because he took some action. It's like, dude,
against all odds, not because the odds were in your favor. That's why I say it's the unreasonable man, not the man who just like, this is what's going on, I'm going with the flow. The right thing to do is usually the hardest thing to do. Period. If you want to get in shape, is it easier to go get in shape or to sit on the couch or watch your favorite movie?
And eat some pizza and some ice cream.
You know what I mean? The right thing to do is most often going to be the hardest thing to do. And more, you're going to have to realize that's your testimony. That's your story. Once you make it there, that whatever you went through, whether it's 8 years in the military, 17 years in the pen, or 11 years being a truck driver, and that's not, or all of those years not being the person you wanted to be, not being the man that you feel like you need to be, just like feeling like you in somebody else's body, wearing somebody else's clothes, at somebody else's house, driving somebody else's car. It's like, nah, in a Rolls Royce or whatever. It's like, but you need to be you, and again, and it's going to be against all odds. It's not going to be, there's not going to be a perfect time. It's not going to be because all the odds in your favor. It's not going to be somebody else is going to come along to convince you. It's not going to be that. It's never going to be that. And so taking action, yes. William, take action, but against all odds though. My favorite thing to tell myself, if you waking up and you tired, you got a headache, your head hurt, you don't feel like doing it, you're emotional, you're dealing with other things that shouldn't have no effect on your business. Maybe you arguing with your spouse, maybe you got a problem, maybe you got some news that somebody passed away, maybe you got some other things that are just fear, do it anyway. Do it anyway. You know what I mean? Like, that's my favorite thing to remind myself. It's not going to be the guy that said, okay, circumstances were perfect, so I got in the dialer. It's going to be the guy that was just like, bro, it was tough today, but I did it anyway. I didn't feel like it, did it anyway. And that, for one, that's the mentality that helps me realize it's about consistency. Because emotionally and just through life, you're going to go through so many, all day long. Do it anyway. Again, what Byron's saying is against all odds, but I tell myself on a consistent basis is dog, do it anyway. But this happened or that happened, or I've been locked up for the past 17 years, which shout out to bro, you know what I mean, for even being on this live. Do it anyway. Become successful in spite of what you've been through. Don't, let what you've been through determine where you're gonna go. Do it anyway. You know what I mean? So I I hope it's more than just one person to take action on this, by the way. I hope it's more than just one of you guys who end up um, uh, getting to it. But we here for the support. We really appreciate y'all. But another thing y'all should do anyway, and regardless, is to share this. We need some more folks on this. I know y'all know some folks that will benefit from this that we talking. So shout out to y'all. But like, share, subscribe, follow me on social media, Cordero Martin. I'm trash with the social media, but I'm gonna do that anyway. But yeah, man, it's all about taking action. Um, okay, but I will say, not to have to do another 1 year, man. Uh, William Johnson, I ain't gonna lie, dog. Being a truck driver, that could be beneficial too. It's like you can own your own truck, you can buy your own trucks. But regardless, again, to my point earlier, you can do this a million ways. Just get clear on the ultimate end goal that you want to do, and then putting together the plan is like, because like if I said I'm in Tennessee right now, if I said I wanted to go to California, even if I put that in my GPS, it might give me like 3 or 4 different routes to get there. You understand what I'm saying? It might give you the fastest. It might give you the scenic route. It might give you the one that's going to have the least amount of, tolls or something to that effect. You got options, but they all going to get you from where you at to where you want to go. So, like you said, bro, it's all about taking action and just doing it, man. But yeah, man, I think we got it in, Byron. We good? Byron getting some more news. Y'all got any more questions? Just let me know while I'm waiting on my dog. Might mess around and call a seller. Might mess around and call a seller. See, I guess since let me call this real estate agent then. I don't usually make offers to real estate agents. But it shouldn't take that long. If she answers the phone, she's got a deal, a property. I don't know if it's sold already or what, but I think it might. It's when I say make offers to real estate agents, I mean this is a property that she has listed on the market, and I think it's a piece of trash. 8204329. Since we got this is the extra credit. Since we like this, man. I said I'm gonna give her a call. Her name is Lakeisha, by the way. We'll see if she answers. So the bonus scenes.
Hi, it's me. Amaze me.
I really like her voicemail. We're gonna double dial.
They live in the house.
All right. Bramlett. What happened to that one?
Bramlett, another divorce. Seller's going through a divorce, so it's like I think his wife wanting to stay in the house, and she don't want anybody to see the house. Yeah, you know those agents get a hold of him, and the next thing you know, we in trouble. They're gonna promise him the world.
Damn. Okay. So, when's the last time you talked to them?
Hold on. Hey, when the last time you talked to Alvin?
It was Friday.
Last time we talked to him was Friday.
Friday. And what was the update there?
Still waiting on like the courts and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, man. These divorce people, man.
Yeah, I think that's it. Let me double check. Oh yeah, what about that Buford one that just came in?
The Buford guy. You said where you got?
Ivy Lake. You just.
Yeah. What? Where did you say you guys were at on that one? I forgot where you guys said you was at on that one.
It was 310, 315.
310, 315. I think we just need to call him back. We probably call him back today. Maybe we'll call him back in a little bit.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's try to see if we can get somewhere on that one.
Yeah.
I got it valued at 370 with us putting 40K into it. We're at 310, 315. So.
Okay.
I mean, if it needs any less for us, then. Did you see any photos on this?
Okay. Well, shoot, we'll try to see if we can make that happen. For sure.
Yeah, it's possible we could come up on that. So let's try and see if we can get somewhere on that one.
Yeah, for sure. We'll reach out to him today and make that. I think I got off the phone with him before I got anything from you, and so I needed to call him back.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
You want me to text that to you?
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right. Good deal. We're getting close on some of these. We gotta somehow try to figure out how we can get there.
Yeah, we're getting real close on some of them. We'll get some of these close, hopefully.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you calling me, man, and getting those straightened out. But I'll let you know as soon as I get an update on any of those.
Okay.
All right, man.
All right. Sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Man, these folks get extra credit. These folks get that extra credit. They getting that behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? They getting some extra.
Hey, dude, you still watching this an hour and 30 minutes in? You deserve some extra credit out this mug.
Yeah, real talk, man. Because I was like, man, I might as well try to call one of these. I was trying to call that agent back. You know, she might.
But dude, I'm gonna have to jump off this thing, man, and get with these kids, man. They calling. They said, man,
yeah. But real quick though, you want me to check with Paul? What was his offer with Buford?
He said they can go up to 320 on the Buford, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
he
I
said
don't
they can go
take that, but I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna let him know it ain't about.
Offer him 300 out the gate.
He was asking for 400, and I offer him 300. Never prematurely value nothing. You don't know what a buyer gonna say. You don't know what the seller gonna say.
Just say, we can do 300, man. You know, and see what he say. Let me know though, man.
I got you, man. I'm gonna follow up. Anybody else? You need me to hit Alvin up today or just
Yeah, we probably need to go ahead and call Alvin.
Okay. Yeah, I hit him up.
Just to stay in touch with him. I think whoever talked to him the most gonna end up, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be the person on his mind. What Grant say? Be omnipresent. Yeah. Omnipresent. We probably need to be calling them, text them, send an email.
Omnipresent.
Like do what?
If Grant said if you call him 50 times and you ain't get the deal, you might as well not even call him at all. Call him 51. So call. Just call. Don't be like, man, I don't know if I need to call him that 51st time. You call him 50 times and you did not get a deal, then none of that other stuff matters. So keep going. So I'm gonna call him, but yeah, I'm gonna get back on these follow-ups and stuff like that. But I appreciate everybody on the live.
Appreciate everybody coming, man, hanging out. We went in, man. We went off. We went in today, man.
Went on this live. Y'all good.
Yeah, for sure, man. But until tomorrow, man, we probably gonna try to do some live calls tomorrow or something, man. But man, like all my content, man, we dropping videos, every day on YouTube, dropping a bunch of videos on YouTube, man, bunch of shorts. Like them, share them, all that other good stuff, man. Like and share the lives, man. I know y'all ride with us, so man, like and share. We can grow the community, man, and shoot, yeah, man. And we'll see y'all tomorrow, though. Peace out.